Arsenal 2, Newcastle 1. What a win. This one feels big because it is big. It's a ridiculously good win. It is so good, in fact, that's why you see me, if you're watching on video, recording from outside in the garden. I just had to. It's first thing in the morning here, Melbourne time, Australian time. It's about 8 a.m. as I record this. I had to get this out. I had to record something. I'm absolutely buzzing. Haven't slept much. Haven't slept much at all. And this is okay. This is a good thing. I struggled to get back to sleep after the final whistle, which is about 3:50 a.m. Australian time, kicked off here at 1:30. This one feels enormous. This one feels absolutely huge because it is. It is so good. We needed to go there. There's so much build up. There was so much build up to this in terms of how the weekend results fell our way. Liverpool losing, Eddie Nketiah, Haaland boy, God bless him, scoring a late winner against Newcastle, a bit of a taste of their own medicine. Sorry, against Liverpool. I'm all over the shop. I'm sorry. We beat Newcastle late. You'll please. I'm asking for some forgiveness here. This one's going to be a bit all over the shop. And look, you might, if you're a repeat listener to this channel, I thank you for it. You might be saying, Rav, well, you're usually all over the shop anyway, right? So what's different now? So please bear with me on this recording. This is jubilation. This is it's a fantastic mixture of I'm delirious as well, bit tired, but buzzing, still a bit stressed as well from how the game panned out and some what I felt was just some really just baffling decisions once again, against Arsenal. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Who cares? Well, I care, but who cares? Does that make sense? Because we won and we did them late. How good was that? How good was that? When Gabriel climbed like the colossus he is in that corner, time almost stood still for me, which is going to sound ridiculous, right? Because it happened so quickly and it's a scuffle and he emerged out of the middle of the pack and just smacked it home from his head. But I almost saw it happening from the corner. I just felt it. So I'm watching it in the dark. I'm watching it on my iPad. I'm in bed, of course. It's around 3:40 a.m. in the morning. My oldest son was next to me. The time wasn't feeling that great, so sometimes he sleeps with us, which is great, no problem. So I just have to be extra cautious with how jubilant I get. I really make much noise anyway, right? I'm sort of, just sort of screaming, muffling into my own mouth, so to speak, right? Just so I don't wake anyone up. And that's the reason I watch in bed, because I don't want to come out and put the kitchen light on and the TV comes on. I just don't want to do that, right? So this is just one of the things that I do. That I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to deal with the tiredness and all that sort of stuff, and I'm happy to watch privately. It doesn't affect or impact anyone else in the house, and that's just the right thing to do. So when Gabriel climbed and he smacked it home, I lost my mind. I absolutely lost it. Oh my God, it was amazing. One of the great victories for Arsenal. One of the great victories. Whew, I need to take a breath because it was kind of breathless as well. Okay, now that I've got that, thanks for putting up with the opening few minutes of me just having my moment. I will try and get a little bit of structure now to this recording, because there is a lot to talk about. Before I get to the match and the selection itself, it was a very good set of Saturday results for Arsenal in terms of us playing last, which we all knew this weekend anyway, and we all knew that it was a very big match, a big test for Arsenal, as it always is going away to Newcastle. They have the wood over us. They've done us a few times last season. There's always a fair bit of spice, a fair bit of needle in these matches. Both teams give as good as they get. The Newcastle fans certainly enjoy. They've certainly enjoyed. Dancing on Arsenal's parade the last few seasons, and that's part of football, part of the tribal nature of football. So heading into this match anyway, I had a bit of an unease about it, that if we were 8 points behind Liverpool, if Liverpool had won against Crystal Palace, and if Arsenal didn't have a great result, maybe a draw or another loss or something, you can just feel feel that intensity with Arsenal. It's something I've spoken about a lot on this channel. You may or may not have come across a couple of weeks ago. I did a specific recording on that about the pressure cooker around Arsenal and media narratives and Arteta in particular, how much they seem to dislike him. So just drawing from that, I just felt that if Arsenal didn't have a good result here, you just knew you can. The headlines, they almost write themselves. You don't even have to think too far, too creatively to know what the narrative is going to be. That pressure is going to be dialed right up on Arsenal as it always is. So coming into this match, to have Liverpool lose, it's fantastic, right? Every time that they lose or draw this season, it's necessary. It's a mini win. It's a little bonus for Arsenal every time they drop points, because they're the champions and they've set the pace already this season, and they're not even playing that great, but they were winning every match. They were, so every time that they slip up, it's great for Arsenal. But only if we do our job, only if we do our part of the deal. We still got to get our business done, which we didn't always do last season. So coming into this match, Eddie winning late, it was great. It was also, I was so happy for him. I'll just spend a moment on that. I was so happy for Eddie Nketiah, because he's part of the fabric of this Arsenal team too. He's got great relations with them. Came through Hayland, was a couple of years ahead. I think it was in the same year, sort of the same age bracket as like Reece Nelson, these sorts of guys when he broke through. I mean, good on him. I want him to have his moment. I want him to do well. It was really, really pleasing to see him win it, and the way that he did win it, and so it's great for Arsenal. And yeah, it opened up. It opened up, especially coming to Newcastle. There was already enough incentive to go and win there because we owed them. And after losing against Liverpool and drawing against Manchester City last week at home, we really needed the 3 points. We really needed a statement, a resounding statement performance, win 3 points, round off this opening 6 tough fixtures that we all knew about coming into this season with a win, and end up on 13 points out of 18. 13 out of 18 as a return on that fixture list that I've just mentioned. Away to Anfield, home to City, away to Old Trafford. That's not a bad return. That is not bad at all. And I look at that table now, and it looks great to me. It looks very, very sweet to me. So it's we're 2 points behind Liverpool thanks to this thumping victory, and rounding off this opening 6 matches, and hopefully the fixtures start to open up a little bit for Arsenal. We can start to accumulate some points and some successive wins consecutively. We're not leaving London for a period of time now as well. So this is an excellent position we find ourselves in, and it was made from the resilience, that grit, that hard work that we saw Arsenal. That second half, I felt it. Did you feel it as well? Like, please do let me know. I just felt something in this from Arsenal, where not too long ago we knew what the narrative would be. Right, we smacked them around in that first half. Couldn't beat Pope, who was fantastic. Every now and then, and we've certainly encountered these situations in our times following Arsenal, that you see a keeper just have a string of worldy saves. And sometimes when they're in the mood. I mean, it happens. This is part of football, right? You can just have a day out as a goalkeeper. On another day, we could have been 2-3 ahead at halftime. Instead, we find ourselves 1-0 down against the run of play. That they really didn't create much aside from the goal that they scored. Walter Mate is a very big, imposing figure. What I will say, there's a couple of things to be disappointed about. From conceding this goal. It shouldn't have been a corner to begin with. Mosquera just had a little bit of a moment, and it was an errant pass. I know straight away he knew, put his hands up to apologise to his teammates. And then, look, from there, you still got to defend the corner, right? It doesn't mean, it shouldn't have been a corner to begin with, so we can be, we can abstain from our defensive duties. It was just a poor goal all round. I don't think it was a foul. I know some replays, some stills show 2 hands in the back from Walter Mate on Gabriel, but it's not a foul. I don't really want to see them given. I'd be furious if we had a goal ruled out for that at the other end. Right, so it wasn't a foul. I think Gabriel knew deep down as well. Maybe his anger, his frustration afterwards was perhaps more so at himself than trying to look for something to be overturned. So we just shouldn't have been down. It shouldn't have happened. And it just had all the narrative of one of those days that we battered them at the other end. Eza with a couple of cracking shots on goal. He hit them beautifully, sweet technique. Another day they go in. We're talking fingertip saves and volleys that sting the palms of Pope's gloves. We could have been ahead, and we probably should have been, and that was the disappointment. And then all of a sudden, they go down the other end on the sucker punch, and we get done there. And it's just, I just kind of sensed it happening. I was wondering how much of my time to devote on this otherwise positive jubilations, themed podcast to this Gyökeres penalty. But I have to mention it. I mean, we can't not, just because we've gone ahead and won the match, as great as that feeling is. We still have to acknowledge certain key moments that just shouldn't have happened. How you can overturn that penalty is beyond me. Like, how? Every angle, every replay I look at, the keeper is second to the ball. So Gyökeres has reached it first, played through beautifully. He's tucked it to his left, and it's a penalty. It is a penalty. How VAR is meant to be for clear and obvious to overturn those sorts of things. And if you can hear some birds chirping in the background, I reckon they're agreeing with me. How can you overturn that? There's just not enough. And what I hate is, and I hate that I get sucked into this too, this whole officiating stuff. It does my head in. I don't like talking about it, but you kind of have to talk about it because you look at who's the referee. I mean, Jared Gillett is a Liverpool fan. He was on VAR when they upgraded Saliba's yellow card last season against Bournemouth to a red, and thus suspended him for the match the week after, which just happened to be against Liverpool. Right? It's just, I hate talking about this stuff, and I believe Darren England. I hate that I know their names, and I shouldn't know. I shouldn't know these. I shouldn't know the officiators' names. It doesn't make me feel great reciting this. But wasn't Darren England the bloke on VAR who when Michael Oliver sent off Lewis Skelly for that straight red against Wolves? Wasn't England on VAR who didn't tell him to, hey, maybe you want to come have a look? I don't know. Look, I hate this. I'm gonna look. I actually find myself getting irritated. So I'm just going to bring that topic to a close just by saying I cannot believe you can overturn that penalty. It's just it's baffling, and yeah, had it stood as it should have, because he made the on-field decision. So I mean, it's just bizarre, and I believe Gyökeres will just smash that home. We know he's lethal from the spot. I believe Arsenal deserved on the balance of play to be 1, perhaps 2 goals ahead, but by the time Newcastle score, we're right up against it. And not too long ago, I've seen Arsenal teams in years gone by just, under the weight of the pressure, the intensity, the scrutiny, the bit of that, there can be that poor me mentality as well that seeps into these sorts of situations. But we didn't do that. We didn't play the victim. We didn't do any of that. Like, well, we dialed up the pressure. We dialed up the intensity. There was some spice in this match, and you felt it in the tackles, you felt it in the crunch. Speaking of which, how pleased I am to see Joe Linton finally get a yellow, to see, wow, delaying the restart actually does exist in the second half. When he kicked the ball away, it was around the 80-odd minutes by that point. I was very, very thrilled. That actually got a massive reaction from me watching live in bed. I was like, yes, finally, delaying the restart, it does exist outside of Arsenal. But look, all jokes aside, I'll just get back to sorry again for the sporadic nature of this recording. As you can tell, I'm riding on a high here. So I didn't touch on selection. The interesting point was, would Odegaard start or not? I fully expected him to. Like from Arteta pre-match, for him to actually admit that Martin is training and he's going to train in the session over the weekend as well, the day before the match. That's a big admission from him. So maybe there was a bit of smoke and mirrors again, but I thought that I took that to mean that Odegaard will be okay to start. He didn't. However, how pleased I am that we started with Eza in the middle. Eza was fantastic throughout that first half. He was dynamic. Declan Rice was monumental this game, absolutely monumental. He was immense, box to box, right in the duels, right. Every time there was a key moment, a key challenge, he's right in there. He gives as good as he gets, and all the Arsenal players did. And I also believe that's why Trossard started this one. If you looked at Eza not starting on the left and Eza being needed in the middle, that's fine. I thought the nod would have been given to Martinelli, but there's something about Trossard as well. Look, I would much prefer him to come off the bench. His goals and statistics, like I've said many times on this channel, are phenomenal. They're all time for Arsenal. His impact off the bench, I would prefer him to do that. In a match of this stature, this sort of spice level, you need Trossard is a senior member. You need your senior members on the field for those, just to manage those moments throughout the match. And without Odegaard, I really do believe that that Mikel now turns to Trossard. He turns to Trossard on Mourinho. So Mourinho didn't start this one, which I feel is the right decision, as I'll come to in a moment. Eza starting in the middle was fantastic to see. And Trossard on the left, like we just needed that. We needed his seniority on the field in certain moments. Like he's just, when there's a lot of spice, niggles, and all these players are talking to the ref. Trossard's not too far away as well. Like he can just help step in. We've got leaders everywhere. We've got leaders across the pitch. This is the other thing. We've got leaders all over from front to back, and it's so pleasing to see this current iteration of Arsenal. We've got answers everywhere. We've got leaders everywhere. And it's just a beautiful feeling, beautiful time to be an Arsenal fan on this glorious sunny morning here in Melbourne. So just getting back to selection, Saliba, maybe there's some inflammation, maybe just from the minutes he played midweek as well, from the knock from that ankle. So perhaps it was always planned, Mosquera to step in to start and Saliba to come on in the second half. And as it turned out, he made the change at halftime. Mosquera, I thought, was fine, aside from that moment I just mentioned. Timber was just doing his thing. He's a dual monster. He came really close, fed through beautifully over the top. He actually had a couple of shots, but, once again, Pope's there to deny Arsenal. On another day, we were looking at a resounding 4 or 5 nil thumping from Arsenal, but that's football, isn't it? You have to dig in, you have to find a way. You keep knocking on the door, keep banging on the door like we did, and we found a way. And that's what makes the win so much sweeter. It was just a brilliant way to win the match. Second half, look, actually, before I get to substitutions, the second half, I also want to say that I thought Saka did really, really well. We saw some old glimpses of the Bukayo of old. Yes, when he was sprinting into the box, I had a couple of moments where I'm sort of grimacing, like those hamstrings. I'm very, very wary of. But Bukayo was looking fit. He's looking fit and sharp. He's looking fiery. Like he's not too far away from really, really clicking. I think the minutes midweek as well against Port Vale have helped him get that match flow, that match rhythm. And a couple of times he was getting behind the fullback, right? He was looking like the Bukayo old on left foot, right foot. We just didn't quite have that cutback. I thought Gyökeres played really well in this match. He doesn't have the goal to show for it, but he looked good. He looked sharp. He looked fit. He was, again, another player who was giving as good as he got, like in the duels. And big imposing figure, they're a very tall team as well, a very physical team, as we all knew. But across the pitch, we've got guys like that, of that height, that stature, giving it back as well. I thought Gyökeres was very, very good this match. Couple of half chances as well that over time, we'd like him to do better on. But this is a live adaptation happening in front of us. Like he's integrating live on the job, on the spot, because of Havertz's injury. And I think every match like this under his belt, like to go to that ground in that atmosphere, that temperature, and come out of it like that, I think it was massive for Gyökeres. If you're like me and you've watched the celebrations back, especially post-match and after Gabriel's goal, please watch Gyökeres as well, right? Like that's what really got me. Reminded me of about a couple of years ago, there was a match, I think it was that late winner against Luton, where I saw Havertz celebrating as ecstatically as anyone else. Like he was fist pumping, screaming in each other's faces. And I had that resounding moment of, wow, he's clicked now. He belongs in this group. Like we found him, that energy. Whereas just a few weeks before that, you saw when Havertz was given that penalty just to get him on the score sheet, he almost looked sheepish. He almost looked to be a little bit embarrassed, like, with his sort of hands up, celebrating, knowing that he hadn't really, really fully earned it just as yet. But the reason I draw that parallel is getting back to Gyökeres. His celebrations really reminded me of that. Right, he really looks like he belongs now. He's clicked. A couple of months now in Arsenal's system, players trust him, he trusts them, and to be a part. Play the full 90 of a match of this stature, of this meaning. This was a massive win. Huge for the entire organisation. Huge for everyone at Arsenal. And to be a part of that, like I really felt like, damn, like he's part of it now. We found him. And please do pay attention next time you watch it. Do pay attention to look, watch all the players. Like watch the feeling, watch the way they all celebrate. They all pile on, jump on each other. Players coming off the bench. I'm looking forward to the bench cam that the Arsenal YouTube channel does. I'm just going to inject it all into my veins. It's just it's such a good feeling, such a good win. I haven't mentioned Mikel Merino yet. He came on and just did Mikel Merino things. So I saw an amazing stat from Albino. So he is now Arsenal's leading goal scorer in the Premier League in 2025. Take a bow, Mikel Merino. We just need to sit on that for a moment. For all the discussion around him, and I know I'm a part of it too. I get we all are. We're kind of just pondering, where's his best position? Where does he fit in what formation, alongside what midfield pairings? You know, like these are all good discussions, I feel, right? Because he's a wonderful footballer, very technically gifted footballer, and he could finish. That header is a thing of beauty. He knows what he's doing. He's going for that pocket. He's going for that corner. He knows exactly what he's doing. And to glance it as beautifully as he has, he's taken the goalkeeper out of it. I mean, Pope didn't even move. He's taken him completely out of it. Mikel Merino has sat there and watched Pope make save after save, basically denying everyone in front of him. He's watched all that. And he knows the way to beat this guy is to go around him. And he went to the corner, took the goalkeeper out of the equation, kissed the inside post, 1-1. It's a glorious, glorious finish. Please do watch it again and watch all the angles. He knows exactly what he's doing. This man can finish. He can finish a goal from his head, from his feet. This is a very technically gifted footballer who's a massive asset to Arsenal. And the way we utilise him, that's how we get the best out of all these players. We're stacked on paper, right? However, you can only have 11 out there at one given time. How's that for cutting edge analysis here from the Real Arsenal deal? I know you can only have 11 out there, but it's about how do you utilise them, in what game states, in what moments, in what pairings around them too. So to have Merino attack the box in closing stages of matches of this intensity is a massive asset. We haven't had this before. And credit to all involved. Credit to Mikel Arteta. Credit to Mikel Merino. And he's finished it beautifully. And from there, I just felt I felt we had them because we took the crowd out of it too. Like we knocked the stuffing out of them. And with Newcastle, they knew that they were holding on, they were clinging on. We powered up off the bench. We're bringing Odegaard on. We brought Martin Odegaard on. Like, what a thing for Mikel Arteta to have up his sleeve now. These matches, these game states, we bring on Martinelli, bring on Mikel Merino, Odegaard. We've still got Eze out there. We've got Gyökeres. We've got avenues to goal. And speaking of avenues to goal, Gabriel, the king of Brazil. My goodness me, I'm going to watch this again and again and again. When he climbed, he was unstoppable. Unstoppable. You're not going to beat him. You're not going to beat him. And how fitting for him that he scored. Like he knew he should have done better on the opening goal, and he would have carried that for the best part of 50, 60 minutes, right, of football inside of him. That would have been burning, eating him up inside. And he climbed and he thumped it home, and the celebrations, oh my goodness me. It was phenomenal. When I woke up this morning, and my son was awake and he looked at me, and I gave him the thumbs up, told him the score 2-1, and like just his reaction too, like he fist pumped the air. This was a beautiful game too. We've rewatched it. Both my sons are now across it. They've seen the celebrations, and as I speak, they're probably inside the house reenacting the goal. So that's what's awaiting for me as well. When I get back inside, we'll probably watch it again. And why not? If I can't share this with them, like what's it all for? And that's why I record as well. If I can share this with you all listening, I hope you're buzzing as well, just like I am, because this is a beautiful victory. This is a great statement from Arsenal. We've gone in, we've done them, right? You know, I didn't want to deal with the other narratives. You know, we even if Arsenal had levelled and equalised, we've got to we still sure we could have salvaged, some positives from the match. We could have said, look, it wasn't our day. On another day, we could have been 2 or 3 ahead out of sight. The penalty should have stood. What if this? What if that? But it's still okay. We came away with a point. We're only 4 points off Liverpool from this opening round of fixtures. But all of that's irrelevant. All of that is absolutely irrelevant. We've taken all of that off the table because we won. And how we've won. We've gone to Newcastle, who had the wood over Arsenal, a bit of a bogey team, right? And we shut them up on their home soil. We shut them up. And just even the celebration straight away, like as Arsenal is celebrating in that corner in front of the away fans, look in the background. The Newcastle fans are filing out. They're done. They're leaving because they know they've been had. They were trying to cling on as best they can against a wonderful football team that Arsenal is, and we did them. And we walk away with the 3 points, massive smiles on our faces. The energy and momentum we're going to get from this is phenomenal. It's so good, right? We return to Champions League midweek at the Emirates, right? Then we're back to Premier League action next weekend, at home as well. This is a great time. This is a great, we need to get around this football club, get around the players. We've come through a pretty hectic opening six matches. Right, that's taken a toll. We've got players in and out. We haven't really had Odegaard, for all those matches. We haven't had Havertz, right? But what you're seeing is that the guys who are out there putting the shirt on, they're giving everything. They're spilling the tank for this football club, and to grind out a result, to win a result in this comprehensive fashion, it is a beautiful, beautiful time, a beautiful day to be an Arsenal fan. I hope you are buzzing just like I am. I'm going to wrap this one up and get up there and probably watch it again because it's great. Savor these moments, right? Savor these moments. Yes, it's only game week 6. It's still September. I get all of that. No prizes are given out now. There's no medals. There's no trophies on offer now. But over the course of the season, there are milestones. There are stepping stones that everyone remembers. And this was a marker. I've got a great, great feeling that this is going to be a marker that we're going to refer to as the season progresses. We're going to see this come back in different shapes and forms in references from the players, from the staff, right? And if we go and lift that trophy, if we do what we all hope we achieve this season, it's moments like this that are the building blocks of greatness. And I'm so, so proud of Arsenal. It was a monumental win, a statement win. And I'm so happy. Thank you so much for listening. If you would be kind enough to like and subscribe on YouTube, a review on Apple or Spotify, if you listen on audio platforms, I'd be so grateful, please. If you could please kindly do that for me, that will be massive. Otherwise, I will talk to you again soon in the build up to the Champions League. Thank you, as always, for listening. Look after yourselves, look after your loved ones, and come on, Arsenal.